Well, I decided to start on the manual conversion for the Mustang since that automatic started leaking again. I did a proper fix on it, like I didn't try and rig it together, and it's still leaking, so I don't know what's going on with it. But I didn't really want the automatic anyway, so I decided to just go ahead and get a manual for it. So I picked up this 3-speed top loader. This is the 303 version that came on V8 cars. So this is a 1965, so it's one of the early ones, and it has a 25 spline output shaft, so I'm going to need a different slip yoke, but it's still good. It's behind a V8, came from a 289, so it's plenty strong enough. I started tearing it all apart. The transmission came with everything except the shift handle. It came with a shifter, which was good. So I rebuilt that. It's a little sloppy, but it'll work for right now. And I made a shift handle for it. Just finished this up a couple days ago. I got a B&M Unimatic handle on there, or knob. Then I made this out of a 1/2-inch steel rod. And then I made this bracket at the bottom to mount to the shifter. So that works pretty well. And like I said, I just started taking it apart. It looks pretty good inside. I'm going to take it all apart, see what it needs, and get some new parts for it. My main concern was this bearing was spinning. It wasn't moving like it's supposed to. Like it'll turn a little bit and then it'll kind of jam and start spinning in the case. But it doesn't look like it was spinning for a long time and eating away at the case, so it should be fine. As soon as I get a new bearing or free that one up, it should still be good. So anyway, pretty excited about that. Gonna finally get this thing together and hopefully get that motor in the car here soon. I'm gonna try and get this car complete together and running by the end of the year. I said that last year and it didn't happen, but I think I can do it this year, so just looking up parts like crazy. This motor, I finally got that last air cleaner on there. Had to grind the carburetor body a little bit because it was a different top, but just put a little RTV in there because there was a little bit of a little space in there. But that's all on there and working now. I still need to make the fuel lines. I gotta get those fittings because I had the wrong ones in here. And so I just need the fittings and make the lines, and then I need those little rods to hook up the accelerator pumps. So I gotta make those. Instead of doing the fuel block, I'm gonna do just an elbow going to this one. I'll have a T. I'll go to this one, it'll have a T, and then that'll circle back around to the pump. So I'm not gonna do the fuel block. Make it a little bit easier. But besides that, it's all ready to go. I had this thing off the stand and I put the flex plate on it because I was going to drop it in with the automatic, but now I got to take that back off. So I'm going to order some new ARP bolts for the flywheel. So anyway, that's the main stuff. I'm going to go show the little stuff I got. This is in the car. I was trying to clean up my work area a little bit. So I ended up with two bell housings. One's out of a 70 Maverick, one's out of a 67 Mustang. And I'm going to use the Mustang one. The Maverick one came with a flywheel and a backing plate, so that's the reason I got two. I got the flywheel, I resurfaced that, so it's good to go now. There's the backing plate. So the 70 Maverick bell housing has the clip style clutch fork, which is a little better, but this one is riveted on, the other one's bolted in, so I'm not going to worry about drilling out the rivets. I'll just use the older style clip clutch fork, because it'll still work fine. So that's about that. I also got a bunch of linkages. Got the Z-bar, also off eBay, and it was bent. These things apparently always bend because the old 3-finger clutches were pretty stiff, so stock linkages are usually bent. So I bent it back so it's nice and straight now, and what I started to do is got some 3/16 by 1 inch flat steel, and I put a whole bunch of little slices in it and bent it to this curve right here. And eventually what I'm going to do is basically make another piece that's going to go along here, and it's going to stop right here. And I'll weld that on both sides to that piece to strengthen it so it won't bend again, because I am putting a stock style 3-finger clutch back in it. But anyway, I did that, and I also got new bushings that go on each end here. This one screws into the block. Got a new felt washer on there. Then I got a new bracket. This mounts on the frame, and then it's got a new bushing in there. So this is all new. And what I forgot to show while I was out there is I got a roller bearing conversion kit for the pedal support. So the clutch pedal has roller bearings now. And I also made my own linkage with Heim joints, so it's kind of got roller bearings in it too. I'm going to go on the other side. So you can see I got the clutch pedal in there now. And up in here, you can see that is a roller bearing. And it was, I think, 40 bucks, and they give you both roller bearings. You pretty much just pop out those pot metal supports, put these in there, and put some little C-clips in there to hold them in, and it's a full roller bearing. So I did that, and then I also made my own linkage. You can see the Heim joint right there. And that goes through the firewall. No clue if you can see that. And there's a Heim joint on the other end. So it's adjustable. And that other Heim joint goes to the Z-bar. So it's going to be 90% roller bearings for the clutch linkages. The only thing that's not roller bearing is the pivot on the Z-bar. But eventually I'm going to make my own Z-bar with roller bearings. So eventually it'll be all roller bearing. But anyway, that's about it for right now. I'm going to go tear into that transmission a little more. Hopefully get that done in a few weeks. And that's about it. Oh, another thing I'm going to do. I put these floors in a couple years ago, and this was literally the first piece of sheet metal I ever welded. So it's not the greatest welds. When I put it in here, I measured it, but it wasn't sitting on the frame rail all the way, so there's a big gap around it. So that's why I have these little filler pieces. And I'm not too worried about that, but these welds look pretty bad. So what I'm going to do is just grind the sealer and flatten the welds a little bit. And I'm just going to re-weld all the way around on both sides of this. So it'll look a little better, maybe be a little stronger. And I'm going to weld it on the back side too. So anyways, I'm going to do that. Then I think structurally it'll be all good to go. I just need to weld in the subframe connectors. and that'll be pretty much it for welding to get it on the road. And then I just gotta finish up that motor and transmission. So anyways, that's what's going on. Things are finally happening again.